How's it going, everybody? RyeSquad here today, and we are back with your Kansas City Royals here halfway through season number 1. Well, not quite halfway, but we're into the season, and we're about a month away from draft day, and I'm excited to get to the draft, guys, but I have been reviewing the trade block, and I'm very excited to look around and see what they have, and there was a couple names that popped up here that I'm very interested in. Now, obviously, the number one guy being Brandon Nimmo. He's the only guy above 80. 7 years at 20.2 at 31. I like the look, right? Good contact, decent pop against righties, discipline and clutch are there. The fielding is all right. I think it'd be an upgrade, but for whatever they're going to ask for him in $20 million a year, right? Salvador Perez, don't really, I mean, I guess I could give him up. It's not something I'd want to do though. But I'm going to scroll down here a little bit, and there is Trevor Rogers. He's got A potential at 26, he's 78, and he hasn't quite hit it yet. 4 years of MLB service, and I think, we still got 2 more years of arbitration eligibility to really see what Trevor Rogers could develop into should we go for him. Now, he's not pitching well down in Miami. Could just be a case of he needs a change of scenery. You can see that his attributes are pretty even across the board. I think they could all improve a little bit, right? Probably get everything into the low 70s by the time he's 29, right? So by the time we really can tell there before free agency, I think, listen, he's not pitched well. Straight up, he's not pitched well. This would be a swing for the future, right? To see if we can get a pitcher that has really good potential. Listen, he's already our second best pitcher right there with Brady Singer. So that'd be a great 1-2. If those guys can develop even in the mid 80s, that would allow us a lot of flexibility and room to maneuver. So I was looking at the Marlins trade board here. They want relief pitchers, not right-handed pitchers, relief pitchers, shortstops, catchers, first baseman, and left fielders. So I was kind of mocking up a trade here. I think I'd be willing to give them Will Smith. I feel like that kind of makes sense. He's 34. Obviously, he's not going to fit with our window. Our bullpen is actually pretty good. Looking at it here, Will Smith is on the last year of his deal at $5 million. I'm happy to get that salary off. Gives us some more flexibility. Our budget is not really a concern, but it just will give us flexibility. And they do want a little bit more in the way of value. But, again, I'm trying not to cheese the system here. I'm trying to make something somewhat fair and just kind of figure it out myself. I will use a suggest a trade thing. Just kind of see like they want Austin Cox instead, or as in addition here. My mocked up trade was to send them also Austin Nola, a veteran catcher. They are very interested in this deal. Austin Nola, a guy that's played in the MLB previously, could give them some experience at the catcher position. They've got some average players here in Bethancourt and Nick Fortes, a young player here in Joe Mack, and maybe Austin Nola goes down to the minors to mentor Joe Mack. And then I wanted to get something back as well, because you can see the trade value is more on the Marlin side of things. So Carson Milbrandt here at 19, he's 55, but he's got C potential, could develop into a mid reliever for us, and I would absolutely love that. They want a little bit more, so I think I'm just going to send them, a depth player for the minor leagues, Keelan Kilgore. So I like this trade a lot. I think, Trevor Rogers is not pitching well for them. They've got plenty of starting pitcher to move on from him. If they wanted to, we could go after Edward Cabrera, but he is much, much better for them. Are valuable to them, I should say. But Trevor Rogers here, I think this is a very, very good trade for us. I think it makes sense for them. They're getting a better arm in the bullpen immediately. That is going to be a huge help for Miami right now. We're getting a young, long shot there at relief pitcher. We're going to send them some experience and just another minor league arm just to fill out the trade requirements, kind of keep the rosters the same size. So they're definitely interested in making this deal. I am too. Welcome to the team, Trevor Rogers, and I'm very happy to have Trevor Rogers. I mean, you can see that just rounds out our starting pitching with some A potential in their mid-20s, right? So a little bit more ways to go for them, a little bit room for Singer and Rogers to grow, but excited to have a lefty and a righty with high potential here. Looking at the pitch, it's 4-seam, circle change, slider, 2-seam. It's nothing crazy, no quirks. Was an all-star player back in 2021. Doesn't seem like he's continued on that trajectory here. Really has fallen off a little bit, but we're hoping that we can get him back to that all-star form. And then, should we continue down the trade block. Brooks Lee, a shortstop with a potential at 23. Now he's 70 overall. This is one more for the future. There's also a guy like Kevin Alcantara out there in center field. I mean, he looks like a pretty decent player. I don't know how much he's going to be able to grow into all of that with B potential, but he is 21. But I'm going to look at Brooks Lee, the shortstop, really bolster maybe third base, maybe short. He could play there, and Bobby Witt could play third, right? We could move these guys around, but he looks like he could be a contributor, you know, even off the bench right now, platooning. He's played 25 games for Minnesota this year, 87 at bats. So he's in the majors batting 149. I think I may send him down then to the minors, right? -1 WAR and only 87 at bats, 25 games. That is pretty bad. But I think that a switch hitting shortstop with a potential that can play anywhere else, second or third, and just, you know, pretty much the whole infield minus first base. I like his fielding, the way it looks. The speed is good enough. He develops a little bit of contact, a little bit of power. I'm going to be happy with him as a batter. So we're going to try and acquire him, and I believe that we can give the Minnesota Twins some starting pitching. Now, it seems to fall off pretty quickly for them, right? Pablo Lopez, Chris Paddock, Joe Ryan, all in the 80s, but then it goes down to Bailey Ober here, and then Anthony DeSclafani. I mean, it is a little bit of a drop-off. Seth Lugo is also pitching very, very well for us, so I would like to send him there because he is pitching well. And we now have Trevor Rogers, right? So he would be an upgrade. He'd be their number 4. He could always go to the bullpen for them. I think it's a fine value for Minnesota. I think, you know, I'm just trying to explain a little bit. The value itself is telling you that much, but I'm happy to get a young swing here on Brooks Lee and giving up Seth Lugo, shedding some of that budget too. I'd absolutely love that. You know, Michael Wacha could be another guy we send there. Oh, they actually would prefer Michael Wacha over Seth Lugo. So maybe I will send Michael Wacha, who is 2 years younger than Seth Lugo, but he's got another year at $16 million. They value him more. We might be able to get, you know, just another young player for the minor leagues. I was going to say Brandon Winokur, but he's D potential. So I'm looking for like C potential, like a Luke Keeschel. He could be a guy that we just have in the minors for a while. They want more value there. Okay, I kind of figured. Ben Ross. Yeah, this is probably a pretty even trade, 1-for-1. At least that's what they're telling me it is. Like, it's really hard to get more value out of them for this, right? If we do this, yeah, they want this trade. I'm fine with this trade too. We get a potential shortstop, right? You can never have too many of those guys. He is cold. Carlos Correa is injured, which is probably why Brooks Lee is playing. He is their second best shortstop, but they also have Matt Shaw in the system here too. The bat's a little bit further away, but the fielding is there, durability, speed. They are pretty much identical prospects, it looks like. But I'll take Brooks Lee for Michael Wacha straight up. We shed some of the budget. We get a young bat. I may want to bring him up. We may then look to move. Actually, you know what? No. We're going to pump the brakes there. Sorry, I'm getting a little excited about bringing up Brooks Lee and playing with Bobby Witt, and I think he's still a year away from being ready. Let him develop down there in Double-A. Bring him up and next year and see how he does. But I think this is a fine trade for me. The Twins will accept as well. Michael Wacha is on his way to Minnesota. So there we go. Those are the trades. I mean, from looking at the trade block right now, as we get closer to the trade deadline, we can probably get to the trade deadline and stop there in this episode. But the Twins have accepted their trade offer, and the Marlins have accepted our trade offer. So I'm pretty pleased with this. We have 26 man in the MLB. That is exactly what I wanted to see. Let's go check out the pitching rotation, see if the manager is already, he's already put Trevor Rogers at the 2, bumping down Brady Singer. So I'm hoping Trevor Rogers will pitch pretty well for us. I hate the fact that we Rule 5'd Matt Sauer. Like this, he's just not good. We do need somebody else to go into that middle reliever. So maybe, oh God, Matt Sauer. I put him in the long reliever because it's just like, I didn't want him pitching ever. His stats aren't actually horrible. 51 innings. Yeah, no, those are horrible. What am I talking about? Those are absolutely horrible stats. I don't know. I think I might have looked at like what did I look at that even convinced me that he wasn't terrible? Maybe I saw the 5.51 innings pitched. Yeah, he's been bad, but I think we want to move one of our, probably Nick Anderson in the middle reliever here. And then Chris Stratton will just be our setup guy. I feel like I'm missing out on one pitcher. We might have, you know what? Let me take a look here. Shortstops. Brooks Lee is in the majors right now. So we do have to send Brooks Lee. I'm going to send him all the way down to AA, I think. AAA. I think AAA would be good for him. We'll send then Harold Gomez down to move to AA. Okay, AA is... Okay, it's actually good. Brooks Lee, we are going to move him to AAA. Yes, going to use one of his minor league options, but we still have 2 more after this. And then we can go to our relief pitchers, call somebody up. Thank goodness. Carlos Hernandez, call him up. Most likely Matt Sowers. So bad. Carlos Hernandez, though, is he pitched well? He has... they're not... Okay, there is his AAA stats. He has not pitched well. Tyler Duffy has, though. Tyler Duffy has pitched well down in the minors. So we're going to call up Tyler Duffy, actually. I got to add him to the 40-man. And then I need to move him to the MLB. So there we go. Now we have enough arms in the bullpen, and hopefully, yeah, there we go. They put Tyler Duffy in the middle relievers with Jake Brentz, and then Stratton, Anderson, and Schreiber are the setup and closers. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's take a look at the depth chart now. Obviously, nothing changes. We moved pitchers for roster players. Salvador Perez is still the everyday player. I'd like to see if I can override that. If I can, I would love to do that. Freddie Fermin, go ahead and become our catcher, please. Freddie Fermin is against lefties, against righties with the DH. He is lefties with the DH. He is. So yeah, now he is, I think, everywhere. So if we take a look at the depth chart, he should be he is the starting catcher. But I do think we've got a good chance here with Trevor Rogers to find his form again. I mean, the team still needs a bit more. We know Vinnie Pasquantino has been playing really well at first. It's probably at the bottom of my list of things to improve, but I think we got a little bit younger and a little bit more potential, which is something I think we're going to need, right? We didn't think that this season was the season that we could surround Bobby with the talent he needs, or just put together straight up a roster capable of contending. Can we potentially battle back that 6.5 games against the Twins? Maybe Michael Wacha is an inside job. I don't know, but I'm hopeful that we can at least make it a little bit more interesting. But we do have the draft to get to in this one, guys. So that is in 34 days. That is here on the 13th of July. So we can go ahead. I'll get up through the rest of the month of June. I'll let you know how our new players are doing, and hopefully I'll have good news. Well, I'm jumping back before I wanted to. Not good news. Vinnie Pasquantino has broken his arm and will be out for 2 to 3 months. So we're in middle of June. He'll be out until August or maybe September. Pretty much a season-ending injury there for Vinnie Pasquantino. I really, really do hate to see that. 60-day IL. I mean, he's got... That's tough because he was growing so well. He was playing so well. Batting .317 with 14 homers. I mean... OPS of 968. I hate to see the fact that his broken arm is going to prevent us from having a really, really exciting season out of him. And clearly that broken arm has really affected his running speed because it's down by 1. I don't know if you guys can see that behind my head but honestly, the growth in the bat has been phenomenal for him. I don't mind the fielding so much. I don't think he's been a detriment fielding wise. Obviously 2.2 WAR has been great. 99.3% fielding percentage. Like to see that be a little bit better, but it's okay for now. I think we'll deal with that. We're now 9.5 games back of the Twins, so I've got to set up scouting. We barely made it a week into the sim here. It's still middle of June, but just wanted to update you guys with that one. We are going to have to call somebody up, I think. I don't know who I'd like to call up to be an infielder for us. There's Dayron Blanco. He's another outfielder, though. We've got Brooks Lee, he's batting better in AAA. He's doing better in AAA. I could bring him up now. I don't know who we really have to play first in the majors. Nick Prado, probably, yeah, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy for us. He's a year younger than Vinny, but so we'll probably just need somebody for depth, somebody that can probably play multiple positions. Nate Eaton here. I definitely think he's a great fielder, really good speed. The bat is not good enough. But for what I'm going to have him doing, I think it makes sense to have him be just a backup there. Do we have who else can play first? Let me take a look at the depth chart. Who's going to get called up? Salvador Perez can actually play first base, which I'm fine with Salvador Perez being our backup first baseman. It's a way to use him. Not the best way, but I don't think we have much of a choice right now. So I think we're going to want to go to Nate Eaton here. Add him to the 40-man if I can. Yep, there we go. And then move him to the majors. All right, there we go. He gets a shot now. I love to see that. Move to AA, and the AA is full, so we'll move John Lester up to AAA. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to continue simming. There is scouting to be done. You guys know I was scouting some catchers. Let's take a look at those catchers real quick that we've recently scouted. They look pretty darn good. I know we've got Freddie Fermin, but guys, like some of these guys look, especially Henry Bledsoe here. If he's anywhere close to that 70 potential, his draft rank is 8th, ours is 19. I guess, I guess it's not the greatest. Still, it's only 31%. We may uncover more. If that potential range gets higher, he may move up. So I don't think I'm going to change anything with the scouting. We've got the East and West starting pitchers being scouted. We still need to do more scouting on all of these guys. There's plenty of good ones, though. We need more starting pitching arms in the pipeline. And Mark Mosley here, draft rank 1, our draft rank is 1. The MLB ranks him 3rd. Could he drop to 6th? Maybe. I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic that Dewey Smith might be our guy. We rank him 16th. We need more information. All right, guys, so we are here at the end of June, start of July 1st, and we are only 3 games under 500. Now, listen, we're 13 back of the Twins. It is really a terrible, terrible division. I gotta say, this is an awful division. The fact that we are 2nd in the division and we're 3 games under 500 just kind of shows you how bad this division is, right? We're at 48.3% win percentage. That's about as good as the Sox, which are 4th in the AL East. Now, the AL East is a very good division, but same thing with the West. We'd be in 4th, just above the Athletics, and the Mariners having a terrible time there. In the wild card, we are 6 games back of the Los Angeles Angels. Baltimore and Texas seem to be kind of snug in that 1st and 2nd wild card. For the 3rd wild card spot, the Rays are a half game back, but there we are 6 games back. It's not crazy for us to get hot and do it, but with the 24th ranked team, I just don't see it happening. Our ERA is too high. Our on-base percentage, I'm just kind of taking a look. Let's compare ourselves to the Twins, right? The Twins, much better pitching than we have. On base is better. Their batting average, it's all just better. Now, they are the top 10 team in the league according to team rankings, but on base percent, right, you can see that they're just a little bit better. We're a little bit worse, I think, than the Guardians. Their fielding percentage, yeah, they're a little bit better. We're slugging better though, so we're going for a bit more power. They're going for a bit more on base. But let's take a look at the completed transactions. David Peterson, Robbie Ray, Matt McClain, Anthony DeSclafani, Sandy Alcantara, and Drew Rasmussen. That's fine. That's just guys getting called up for number. Do we have any updates? No. But Trevor Rogers is hot. Trevor Rogers is on fire. He's got 1 win and 2 losses since coming in, but he has pulled down his ERA. The next thing I wanted to check is shortstop Brooks Lee. He is cold. I think he's up to a 71, though. He is up to a 71, which is good to see. I'm very happy to see his growth continuing. Do I send him down to AA? I mean, he's not playing poorly, right? The bat is doing okay. I'd like to see a little bit more out of him, but I think he's fine for now. There in AAA. I don't think AA would be sending him down would be the right move, just because he's cold. And then starting pitching, let's take a look. Trevor Rogers, I know he's hot. Total, unfortunately it doesn't split it. I just wish it would split it for us, but it doesn't. 6.02 ERA is better than his 7 point something. His WAR is now positive. His strikes per 9 have gone up by over a run, a strike and a half per game. His ERC and FIP have come down a pretty good amount, so I'm happy. I mean, I'm very, very happy considering his baseline was where it is. Right now, I think a 6.02 ERA, anything less than 7. If you can get that under 6 into the mid to maybe even low 5s, guys, I'm going to be very, very excited. And I really like a pitcher with good break. I really do. 99 break. The velocity is fine in the 80s, but a pitcher with break, I'd rather have accurate pitchers that just the ball moves all over the place than guys that just throw straight heat. But honestly, the team is it's performing fine. Bobby Witt is an all-star, it looks like. Maybe that's last year. I can't tell. I don't know when that updates, but Vinnie, I'm so sad about Vinnie. But let's take a look. How is our first base situation do with Nick Prado? Our first baseman just seemed to do well. 271, 4 home runs, 727. Listen, it's not great, but it's not bad, right? For a backup first baseman, I can get behind that. But Freddie Fermin here, batting 288, really growing very nicely too. 288, 808 OPS. 20 RBIs, only 4 home runs. He's not got much power. Listen, he's a good catcher too. So his WAR is 0.9. Love to see stuff like that. Blake Mitchell injured down in AA there, our young catcher, maybe for the future here. Does look really good at just 19, so I'm very, very excited about that one. But guys, the team honestly looks pretty good. Things are going about as well as I would have expected in year one. We're 6-4 in our last 10. We've got the draft in just a week, and I'll show you guys the prospects here. Oh my goodness, we have caught fire. We something changed here in the last week of June, right? It was actually the second last week of June. It was right after Vinnie Pasquantino got hurt, because I simulated up to this 16th, right? And we went, what, 3-4, 4-4 in this week? 3-2 or 3-4, and then all of a sudden we just turned it on. We went 4-2, and then we went another 4-3 in that week. This week, it was a perfect week. We won all 6 games, and we're now, 10 games back. We're above 500, only team in the division above 500, and we pulled back a game in the wild card. I'll take that. Guys, this is getting kind of good. The ERA is getting better, I think, too, as a team. We got to take a look at the last little bit of scouting here. So I have kind of loaded up on starting pitching. This draft, I just kind of scrolled through the first 30 players. I want to say 20 of them were starting pitchers. The amount of starting pitching depth in this draft class is crazy. Nick Allen here, we rank him the second best. The league ranks him at 4th. I think maybe I want to scout Brandon Lockett, just himself, right? He's draft ranked 6th, so he could fall to us, and if he's got great potential, I'd love to snatch him up. Maybe I'll scout some of these guys that I haven't scouted too much of. Guys like Brandon Lockett. There we go. We'll get 100% scouting this week. I love to see that. Let's move him up to priority number 1. We're going to get 3% interest there. I've scouted plenty of pitchers, so I think with this last week, what I'm going to do is view the prospect list. Like I said, find guys that we have not scouted much of. Like a second base. I haven't scouted a second baseman. I'm not opposed to taking a second baseman if he's got 99 potential, but Torrey Miller here is just somebody I really want to get more information of. We'll have 84% scouting, thanks to Ethan Crawford here, and then Brent Norton. Somebody else in this range. Maybe we want to not take scout somebody in this range. There's Mikey Hopper here. Don't know about that one. We got starting pitchers all over the place. Left field here. He opted out of his physical, so that's a bit of a concern, but does have really good potential in an outfielder. Our round 2 pick is, our round 1 and 2 are 38 and 40. So maybe we go down there a little bit. Find somebody that, Elmer De Villar here could be great at 18, a catcher. With our second pick, I'd love to see that one be a good player. 50% per week. We get him up to 70. I'm cool with that. Last week before the draft is, when is the draft? The draft is in 6 days, right? Okay, yeah. So it is the 13th. I was right about that. Let's get to it. We continue our hot streak before it's snapped by the St. Louis Cardinals, but we bounce right back with 2 more wins there. The team is rolling, guys. And heading into the draft, we've cut another game off the wild card deficit. Another injured list notification. It's Lofton in AA. AAA, it's Lacey, and AA, it's Way. Okay. So not anybody name that I really recognize, but I'm happy with the team, guys. I am very, very happy with it. Draft picks are in 1 day. So it is, I guess, the 14th. I just got to simulate through this game against Boston. You know what? Let's jump into a game. We got bases loaded with Salvador Perez. A chance to take the lead here in the top of the 10th at Fenway. So let's go ahead and do it. All right. Big Salvador Perez. 1 out. Really got to watch for anything low in the zone here. Sinker, curveball, 4-seamer. A lot of double play pitches here from Brennan Bernardino. So let's see if we can maybe hit one over the monster, hit a grand slam. We do make contact, but I'm underneath it. Is it going to be deep enough to score from 30? He has 90 speed. The throw is off the line, and we are going to take the lead in this one. A sacrifice fly from Salvador Perez, and we bring home the runner from third. Renfroe now up to the plate. They're going to bring in a new pitcher, but Hunter Renfroe is 0 for 4 with a ground out and 0 for 7 in the series. Is not found playing at Fenway very fun, but we have 99 speed over there at, that's Bobby Witt. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Bobby Witt is the 99 speed guy, but a ground ball, he's probably home. And I watched the curveball drop in for strike 3. I was trying to, I'm going to return to simulating here. Continue simulating. And what do we got here? How many outs now? Was that an out? Home team down by 1. Continue simulating, please. And it's gonna be a win. All right. So I like to see that. I like the fact that I got to bat. Don't have to pitch and slow it down for you guys there. But Salvador Perez with the sacrifice fly is the player of the game there against Boston right before the draft. We continue the hot streak. That was pretty fun. It is now, the Mets are offering us a trade. They want to take Hunter Renfroe off our hands, and in return, they will give us Mike Vasil. No, Mike Vasil. I don't think I want to give up Hunter Renfroe for that. He's hot. Clearly, it doesn't include the Boston series, where I struck out and went 0 for 8 in the series so far, but I'm going to reject that trade from the Mets here. We got one more game against Boston before the Home Run Derby and All-Star game. It is now the first-year player draft, so let's take a look at the prospects. They say Rex Rodriguez, the closing pitcher. I'm not going to take a closing pitcher with everything we need. Nick Allen there. I'm going to add him to the draft queue. Mark Mosley here. He is injured. Something to consider, but man, all these guys are opting out. Some really, really interesting prospects here, too, are popping up near the top. Bobby German, Tadahito Ozuna. Yeah, there's a lot here. So Mikey Hopper, didn't really get information about him, but we do know that Aaron Chaney is really good, like potentially really good overall. Pretty high to start. I mean, he is 22 though, so keep that in mind. Dan Schiff here, really good potential range and overall range for just an 18-year-old. So that is very, very exciting to see that. So let's go ahead, just get into the draft and we'll figure it out here. We'll go to the draft. All right, now they still do the first 3 picks thing where they announce who's who. Obviously, the first 6 picks have been set via the new draft lottery. The lottery participants were all teams that did not qualify for the postseason. Throughout the draft, the live ticker displays the important information like the current round, who's currently on the clock, and which team is up next. When your team is on the clock, you will have 4 minutes to draft a prospect. All other teams will have 10 seconds to make their pick. Consider bonus demands and interest levels of prospects when making selections. Your goal is to select the best talent available, but also stay within your bonus allotment. Yes, I know. If you run out of time while on the clock, it'll be from the draft queue. If there are none, it will be an auto draft. If at any point you want to speed it up, press start to sim to our next pick or the end of the draft. So, the Cleveland Guardians have the first overall pick, followed by the Reds, the Rockies, the A's, and the White Sox before we get to select our player. And the number 1 pick in this year's draft is going to be Nick Allen. That is a good pick. We know that for a fact. 68 to 78, 83 to 93 potential, 21 years of age. They go with the left-handed pitcher. Very, very good pick for the Cleveland Guardians, in my opinion. Next up, to the Cincinnati Red goes Brandon Lockett, another really good. I mean, we had him ranked 22nd in the draft rank. His potential's high B, right? 82 to 87. Overall is pretty good. His age is a little bit older. So it's a solid pick. Nothing superstar level. Nothing I think that's going to hurt them either, though. And then to the Rockies goes Torrey Miller, another guy we took a look at late in the draft here. We had him ranked 15th. MLB had him in 7th. Potential pretty wide range. Low A is his best outcome at just 20. His overall, though, he looks pretty polished to start with that 63 as the base. Pretty interesting to see that kind of player and what he could turn out to be. But that means that a lot of the names that we were looking at are gone. I kind of figured that we were looking at guys in the top 5. Dewey Smith goes next to the A's. We did have Dewey Smith scouted. They ranked him as 5th in the MLB. We have him 42nd. That's not great potential for the 4th overall player. Next goes Fletcher Hackman. Again, we had him ranked 21st, and 15th was the MLB's ranking of him. Another average player. Let's take a look at our prospects. 2 closing pitchers there. Mark Mosley. I just don't like to see that he's injured, and 81 to 91 is not that great. Danny Simmons here has very high potentially, but the opting out of the doctor's exam, injury risk is unknown. The bonus demand is low. The future numbers look really good. 6'4" at 18, throws right-handed. Then there's the first baseman here. Do we have anybody crazy? Bobby German is 18. Okay, how is he? There's Ozuna, Bobby German. Let's look at the starting pitchers, right? Because there they are. Danny Simmons, Bobby German. They're pretty much the same, although Bobby German could have quite the high starting overall. The base range of his overall is about the top of Danny Simmons. And he's a left-handed pitcher as well. And then there's Tahito Ozuna, but I mean, I don't really want to risk that. That overall range is really low. The potential, I like Bobby German's potential a little bit better. There's Aaron Cheney here, like I had mentioned, 86 to 91, but I think I'm going to take the shot on Bobby German here. He opted out of his doctor's exam. We'll see. Unknown injury risk, but man, he's got a lot of really, really blue ratings for the future. That's what you love to see. I don't really care about the fielding so much. And there you go. You can see he's got a 4-seamer, a 2-seamer, a slider, and a curveball. That's a pretty decent average pitch makeup. I think I'm going to go with him just because that overall could be really, really good off the rip. Potential being 76 would hurt a lot, but we don't really have a better option right now. So Bobby German, we're going to draft him here. Let's hope that overall is what it says it is. Bobby German, welcome to the Kansas City Royals. Okay. All right. Starting pitchers here. I just want to take a look. Yeah, I wasn't really willing to go with the other guys. I'm happy with Bobby German here. I think that potential, listen, if it's in the 70s, I don't like that. But if it's in the 80s or 90s and his overall's in the same spot at 18, there's a lot that he could do. Avery Thomas goes, Vladimir Ramirez. Let's just go ahead and jump to our next draft pick. The only guy left on our draft board is Dan Schiff here. He's got really high potential as a starting pitcher. Archie Jensen, too. We have him ranked 19th, but I mean, his overall here, 72 to 98 with 42 to... I'd rather have the chance that Dan Schiff is a higher overall now. Taking a look here, I just want to kind of scroll through. There's Kevin Garcia, potentially. I don't want to look at just starting pitchers, actually. Mariano Diaz here. He's 20, closing pitcher. I think I can find a closing pitcher. Willie Rodriguez, man, it's all starting pitchers, guys. It is all starting pitching. Kevin Negron, that overall is really low, potentially. Willie Castillo. We did scout some catchers. There's also Lyle Cortez. We do have another pick right after this. So you know what? I'm going to take Dan Schiff, I think, who's right at the top of our draft board here. Dan Schiff, I think, is the move here. 74% interest as well. The potential range is great. The overall range is also great at 18 to, I'll take it. He's healthy. Take a look at the future. Again, hits and walks per 9 is great. The break is great. 4-seam slider, curveball, changeup. Not bad there. I think I'll take it. Dan Schiff, welcome to the Kansas City Royals. And there we go. I'm actually nervous, right? I'm actually nervous. I'm pretty sure his bonus demand changed. Pretty sure it was like $290,000. Now it's $1.7 million. And the A's are going to make their pick of Mariano Diaz. So we'll have to check out how he looks. Let's take a look at the prospects. I kind of want to get off of starting pitchers now. There is Lyle Cortez here, who could be a pretty good right fielder. Zane Valley as well, but we don't really know his potential range all that well. He could be there in the 3rd round for us as well. Center fielders, left fielders, not really the moves there. I think if we looked at just fielders, there's Willie Castillo and Lyle Cortez. Those are the two guys right next to each other here. What else? There's Kevin Garcia. He's not bad. 82 to 98 potential. That's really high potential at 20. He's another starting pitcher, though. I thought he was a shortstop when I looked up there. We scouted so many there's so many starting pitchers in this draft class, though, that are pretty good. But I think one of those two fielders is what we want to do with our compensatory pick here. Let's see. It is where'd you go? Willie Castillo and Lyle. It's so hard to scroll through this, and the fact that it barely moves, like nothing on the screen moves except for the faces change. It's so hard to keep your place with what's going on here. But taking a look, right field, we're at 19th. We might need a right fielder a bit more. He's potentially a bit higher overall now. He's 1 year younger. I think I'm going to go with Lyle Cortez. I think we need Lyle Cortez more than we need Willie Castillo. We do have players in the system for catcher. I forgot his name, but he was growing. He was looking nice there in Double-A. We should be fine there. I think I'm going to draft right field just because that overall is a little bit potentially higher, and the potential is just about the same with being 1 year younger. Really good contact vision and discipline. Great arm strength. Love that out of a right fielder. So we're going to go ahead and draft Lyle Cortez, the right fielder. Welcome to the Kansas City Royals. $2.5 million in bonus demand. And there we go. All right, so we're going to sim to our next pick. We're in the 3rd round here. Pick 79. Kevin Garcia is still on the board. Same thing with Larry Clement. Man, there's some really good players still on the board, according to us. 82 to 98 potential for this starting pitcher. His his future doesn't look very strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing about him looks all that strong for the future. We'll keep looking here. There's Leonardo Cordova. Jesus. Walks per 9 and stamina are great. You love to see a guy that can eat some innings for you. But can I see scouted? Scouted, there we go. Yeah, these are all guys we've scouted. There's DeAndre Manning here too, who's got probably B potential and a pretty good overall at 22. That's not bad. He's 40% scouted, so those ranges could move slightly. They're not guaranteed to be in that range either. Larry Clement would be a fantastic guy if he does end up being that 98 potential. Kevin Garcia has a bit higher. Larry Clement could be one of those guys that's in the 40s too. Kevin Garcia, welcome to the I thought I had 4 minutes. But Kevin Garcia, they made the choice for me. I'm fine with that choice right there. That's fine. So sim to our next pick. We have just a minute now, so that's good to know. Didn't realize that. Right fielder here, no, it's not quite good enough. Catcher here could be 98 potential. That's 67 though. That's pretty low. I'd like to take a swing on a guy that I know a bit more about. There's Dave Young here, 74 to 90. The overall's not bad. I didn't even look up. I was like, okay, I got 4 minutes. I got ages to go here and I can talk about it. But no, I guess I can't. But the potential to have 98 with Larry Clement here, I think I'm just going to go for it. We're going to draft Larry Clement, another starting pitcher. I know, but I think we took what? Kevin Garcia there, Lyle Cortez, and Dan Schiff. So yeah, we've only taken one fielder, a lot of starting pitching, but that's just kind of what this draft class has to offer. We're going to sim to our next pick here, another starting pitcher. There's Brian Pepper, who could be good, the center fielder here. Do we have any range here? Milo Castillo? Milo Castillo is already 22, though. Dave Young, I think I like Dave Young a bit better. Similar, we've got him scouted more, and that potential is still hanging up there near the top. This third baseman too, Armando Feliz, but I think outfield is definitely something we need to prioritize. Armando Feliz is the same age. We've got a catcher here who's, doesn't really have that high potential. 78 to 90 there for the first baseman, but that's okay. There is Dave Young and Armando Feliz. Very, very similar looks to them, but I'm going to take Dave Young. Welcome to the Kansas City Royals. Now I'm like a little bit less sure of just how much time I have. Leonardo Cordova is still out there. That's a pretty good player. I'm just looking at scouted players right now. There's this third baseman still who could have crazy potential, but he's 21 and the overall just isn't really there. If anything, he'd be a late bloomer. Some of these guys too, we've scouted them quite well, but I think Leonardo Cordova, I know it's another starting pitcher, but it's another chance at good potential. I'm going to take that when I can. We're going to sim to our next pick, and that is the end of the draft. We have until August 1st to sign these players. We got to get to the get another week through it here, and we beat Boston. There we go. I'm gonna skip the home run derby. Can I take a look? View today's games? No, I can't take a look at it. But look at that. We sweep Boston, guys. We have been hot. We've lost one game in July, and it's one of those things where I think the All-Star break is coming at the wrong time. Okay, the All-Star game has one of our players. View today's games. Nope. Okay, let's take a look at who our All-Stars are, or All-Star is. Play game here. That's fine. Play full game. Let's actually player lock. Let's go in here, view organizations games, play games, and then we'll player lock. It'll tell me who I can control. There we go. We want the AL All-Stars. And who is our All-Star? Wow, okay, we didn't really have anybody. Oh wait, I have to manage it. Just to be able to, because they didn't make the starting lineup, which is a bit of a disappointment. But quick manage. We're just gonna do that. American. There we go. Perfect. Yep. And then there we go. Anybody? No, I don't think any of our pitchers made it. I don't see. Oh yes, they did. John Schreiber did make it. Our reliever. Okay, I'll take that. And he's a 77. Yeah, to make an All-Star appearance. I'm very, very happy with that. Absolutely. We'll make Tyler Wells the starter. And then do we get any other batters to make it? Bobby Witt Jr. did make it. I love that. I'm still familiarizing myself with the names of the rest of the the roster here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of flip through everybody. I know how, wow, the 3 Houston Astros at the start there. That is crazy. Rutschman made it, Stassi, and wow, some Tigers made it too. But Bobby Witt Jr. does make it for us. He's continuing to grow and develop. And oh my God, he's going to be an absolute stud. So those are our All-Stars, Schreiber and Bobby Witt. You love to see that. And it's now the 17th. Today is a day to sign draft picks. This is the big one. This is where we really get to kind of figure out who we want. I mean, we won't get to know really what somebody is until we, sign them, until August 1st. So Bobby German here, he was our first overall pick. They ranked him 50th, but we thought he was much better than that. 10% scouting, 6% interest. He's already very interested. A bonus of 3.3. I can absolutely offer him that contract. The slot value is 6.6, so I can even go up here to 5.45. Beautiful. He is going to sign with us. I love that. Our starting pitcher, potentially of the future. Man, if he had 84 overall with 97 potential, guys, I would be just, you're going to see me dance on camera. Dan Schiff here. We're also going to just sign him. There's no reason to not sign him. He's going to sign it. Right. He's that other option there. 2 elite pitchers. Or it could be an amazing draft for our pitchers. Lyle Cortez is really our only star fielder that we could sign. Wait, we could potentially be running out of money. Actually, we should be fine here. I've never actually run out of money, I don't believe, where I couldn't sign anybody. And he is going to decline. He's going to need a few days. That's fine. Kevin Garcia here, the auto draft, which he could be a stud, but a bit more of a project. I'm fine with that. 70%. He is going to sign that. Beautiful. So only Lyle Cortez needs a little bit more convincing. Larry Clement here. I mean, if he's got 98 potential, guys, I'm going to be happy about that. But there we go. He's going to decline that offer. That's fine. He's already got 80% interest, so I'm kind of surprised he did. Leonardo Cordova, a bunch of pitchers this year, guys. So maybe next year we will just draft, maybe not just focus only on fielders, but I think right now what I want to do is just scout these guys. 20% scouting there for Dave Young. That'll be nice. We'll get the rest of Lyle Cortez and Larry Clement scouted. Finalize 2-day plan, and we can continue to move on here. Today's the day to sign draft picks. We lose to the White Sox, but that's okay because I'm ready to sign some of our players here. Lyle Cortez, come on down. Why don't you? There we go. He is going to sign. Love that. So we now know for a fact that he's 74 to 86 with 64 to 67 potential. That is 100% scouted. Now, not certain if that range is correct, but Larry Clement hung on to that high 90s potential with a little bit more scouting. So we love to see that. We're going to let these guys gain. And you know what? No. We're just going to get Larry Clement a little bit. I mean, we still have 1.5 to go. He's going to sign that. And then Dave Young here. I mean, I'd love to scout him, but I don't, you know what? Yeah, let's get him a little 20% more. Why not? It's 2 days. Come on. We'll just scout him. We'll simulate to the end of it. Come on, Chris. And oof, I think he got grand slammed, walk off. That's brutal, but we do snap it with a win there against the White Sox. So as you can say, the All-Star break came at the perfectly wrong time for us, and an IL notification, 2 of them. Okay, nobody there. That is too concerning. Signed draft picks. Dave Young, 76 to 88. Overall, a little bit lower, right? But decent potential, so we love to see that. We'll just give him all the money. Offer declined? Really? Okay. All right, we'll just go through this. The Guardians are offering us a trade. They want our Gavin Cross, and they're going to give us Scott Barlow? No. I don't need, current relief pitching. And there we go. Wow, we beat Arizona twice. This team is kind of turning it on. And there we go, 100% scouted, so low overall, but probably pretty good potential there for Dave Young. I'm going to use it or lose it, so there we go. Just throw all the money at Dave Young. And now, guys, we're going to go ahead and get to August 1st to really see what our prospects look like. Well, it is July 31st, and it's not quite a chance for us to see what our draft picks look like, but it is a time to look at the trade block. There's some names on the block that we've already made our moves earlier in the season, and I don't really want to mess with what we got going on. Unless there is really a stud out here to trade for, I don't really think that there's anybody that I'd want to go for. I mean, Mitch Garver at catcher, I don't think we need a catcher upgrade. I mean, maybe a relief pitcher here like Matt Strahm would be a good upgrade. ERA is not great. The Ks per 9 it's decent, but I don't think I want that. Ryan Presley here, $15 million for another year from the Astros. He is pitching well. Very, very well there. ERC of 1.7, so that's really good. And I struggle to see with him declining if that's going to hold up, right? There's Matt Manning here from the Tigers. Decent player at 26, pitching okay, 78. We do have plenty of young players, though. 1.4 WAR is not bad. Justin Verlander, Houston wants to get rid of that contract, it looks like. Nick Sandlin here from the Cleveland Guardians. Good hits per 9, really good ERA, 0.8 WAR. The ERC is under 3. What do they want from us? Nick Prado, MJ Melendez, Mason Barnett. Garrett Hampson, the shortstop, no. And then Carson Rocaforte. I mean, I'd probably give him the Carson Rocaforte because I feel like Mason Barnett, he's 23. Actually, we've just drafted a bunch of prospect starting pitchers. I think I can live without Mason Barnett to bring in Nick Sandlin, a reliever who's only 27, 76 with beat potential. I think I'm going to do this trade. Yes, the salary goes up, but it's fine. And there we go. We have made a trade deadline acquisition. There's Edmundo Sosa, too. OPS, not looking good. Not great. The bat is all right. Contact, but not a player that I like to see there. Alex Verdugo, the clean-shaven Alex Verdugo. It's so weird to see that. Does he still rake? He absolutely does. He's a cheat code. His runs created, honestly, aren't that great, but considering he's only had 137 at-bats and 35 games played, he's absolutely an upgrade in the outfield for us. I mean, he's better than Kyle Isbell, Ben Kuderna. No, Adam Frazier. I mean, I could give that up. Drew Waters, Seth Lugo. Somebody potentially look at in the offseason. But I think for now, again, I like what we've got going on. PCA is there as well. He's always on the trade block. Holy moly. I've never not seen him on the trade block, to be honest. But honestly, the team is hot. And what we need to do now is send down a relief pitcher. Tyler Duffy in the MLB. Has he been able to keep it up? I don't think he has. Tyler Duffy, I'm sorry. We're going to move you back to AAA, bud. Because now we have Nick Sandlin. He's now our best relief pitcher by a long stretch. Well, I shouldn't say by a long stretch, but he's pretty young. He looks really good. His underlying stats, his attributes, I should say. We made those trades. We didn't really make too many early on, but I think this is a good one. I think this is a pretty solid one that we needed. I'm very, very happy with that move there. Let's just take a look at our completed transactions here. We want to go with the Royals, right? Wow, not many transactions. We acquired Nick Sandlin, and that's pretty much it for Mason Barnett. I think that's it. That's the only trade we're going to make. Like I said, I don't want to just build a super team or whatever in year one. I'm trying to keep it somewhat realistic, and I know those of you in the comments have mentioned that before, and I'm doing my best, but I really do think that, contract extension time. Contract extension time. Trevor Rogers' ERA is down into the low 5s. Holy cow, dude. He's looking for 8.8 a year for 4 years. It would take him till he's 30. I'll give him 8.8 a year. If he's going to continue to pitch like this, oh, wow, look at that. The interest is still pretty high, so I could maybe get away with $8 million a year. As a rotation arm, I could front load it so it's easy to get rid of him in the back end. I think player payroll goes up if I front load it. Back load it goes down. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? Is that's the payroll? That's not the payroll will go up by $1 million. Okay, so that is not our space. Got it. Understood. Yeah, I'm gonna give him the 4 years, $8 million. I think the fact that he came in, he was pitching in the 7s of the ERA. He's now grown to an 80, which is 2 overall points, and he's now down into the low 5s. Could get even into the 4s. I think it spells really good news, and it's $8 million a year, guys. We have the budget for it. I'm gonna do it. And that's what he's looking for in a contract. Brady Singer now. 4.2 ERA. Again, he is growing. Somebody that we could look to have for a little bit. Cole Raggins. Do I really want to sign all these guys? Freddie Furman is growing really, really nicely, guys. He is becoming a really good catcher. Make an offer here. $5 million. He's looking for just 1.6 a year. We'd still have him in arbitration. Can I undercut it a little bit to 1.5 per year? He'd be an everyday catcher. Beautiful. Giving it some thought, and he is going to accept that. Sandlin, we don't really know how he pitches. But I'd like to make him an offer. He's looking for 3. I'll give him 4 years at 3.5 per year. I feel like that is pretty fair. How about 4 years, 13 million for him there? 3.2 million per year for a really quality looking reliever. And it's a done deal. I love it. I love it. Brooks Lee's now up to a 71. He's not a guy that I'm going to give like all the years to, but definitely somebody I'd like to keep around for a few years. I think, what is he renewable? He is renewable for the next 3 years. I'm not going to get rid of that option for us. MJ Melendez is a guy that I've kind of hoped would do more. 594 OPS. That is brutal. Negative 1.7 WAR. Somebody that I think we're going to move on from. But for now, I think those are the in-season contract extensions I want to get done. Kyle Wright and Brady Singer. Brady Singer, could bring him back. How's his WAR is good? His year, it doesn't look fantastic, right? But anyway, it's now time to just go up one more day against the White Sox. We now have 41 players. Did Vinnie Pasquantino come back? Did Pasquantino come back off the IL? No, he did not. We did trade for a relief pitcher. Sorry, right-handed pitcher. I keep saying that. No, it is a relief pitcher. But at 24D potential, I think I'd rather have 24C potential. Steven Cruz, we're going to remove you from the 40-man. Yes. And there we go. He's now off the 40-man. And they have 14 pitchers on their roster. Okay, the AAA roster needs fewer pitchers. I can take care of that. It's because I sent down a reliever, so we now want to send down Steven Cruz even further to AA. Okay, we'll send down Jordan Lyles to AA, because why not? All right, and there we go. We now have the right amount of pitchers, and today is the deadline to sign our draft picks. We've already signed them all, right? There's nobody left to be signed. I did not forget about anybody. Did not forget anybody's name, although I always forget names. And we've got struggling AAA pitcher, AA, Blake Mitchell, Gentry, Wallace, and Lacey. Yeah, nope, not somebody that I'm too worried about. We are 7 games back of the Twins right now. We are at 60 wins, and we're 3 games back of the Angels, guys. We keep chopping off games behind the Wild. This could be a fun end of the season here, guys. We do have 2 months to get through. You know what? I may do it. I may get up through the rest of the season here. We are going to lose the Detroit, but it is now time to view our draft picks. This is the big moment. And okay, all right. 74 potential. Bobby German has 87 actual potential. You love to see that. He's a 74 right now. He could easily pitch in AAA or AA, or heck, we could even bring him up to the majors, and he would be fine at 74. 68, Dan Schiff with 86 potential. That is another good thing to see. Lyle Cortez does only have 79 potential, but he is a higher overall at 69 right now. At 20, I'm content with that. Then we've got Kevin Garcia with a high A potential, low A potential at 92. And he's only at 57 right now, so that's not the end of the world. Larry Clement has got a long way to go to reach that. Same thing with Dave Young. Leonardo Cordova, though, 62. I'm happy with... guys, I'm happy with this draft. I'm very, very happy with this draft. How do they... Bo Capiello. They did not sign him. Interesting. You don't get... Wow. Wow. The Angels did great with their draft picks. Do we have any... were there any stars? Was there anybody in, the high 90s... that was at an early draft pick? That's late right there. Brian Pepper here, 55-94 is not bad. The Reds took Brandon Lockett, who's got actual 70 potential. They took him at 2. Oh, that's brutal. 73-78 was the scouted. Oh man, that hurts a ton. They didn't sign some of these guys. That's crazy. Everett Gonzalez. Wow, yeah, like I said, guys, this was not the craziest draft. Kevin Negron, I believe we looked at him, but I didn't pull the trigger on him. It was a little bit too wide of a range for me, but he's actually above that range. So it's nice to see that these Rangers aren't all knowing anymore. Danny Simmons, I think we definitely looked at him and I passed on him. He's an 89 over potential, which is not bad at 61 overall. I still think we got the better player. Tadahito Ozuna is going to add to that stable of pitching they have there in Tampa Bay. And there it is, Sandy Couch, 99 potential closing pitcher. Matt Kaminsky here, 92 with 74. A really, really good player there in Matt Kaminsky. Nick Allen, there's the first overall pick, is a 72 with 87 potential. So guys, this was not the greatest draft we've ever seen, but we can see that we got quite a few quality players, right? You see that blue, that well above average. You love to see that there. So I think we're going to go ahead and sim to the September call-up, see what we can do, and potentially maybe make a run at that wild card. I'm going to simulate to the end of the game. Nope, I don't want to jump in. Nope, I just don't want to jump in. We're starting to falter a bit here. Don't like getting swept by the Twins. The Royals have... Okay, I've got to fix that. That's Vinnie Pasquantino being activated off the IL. Love to see that. So Vinnie Pasquantino is activated off the IL, which means third baseman Nate Eaton. How has he done? He's batted 250, 607. Does he have a positive WAR? He does. So I'll take that, but move him back to AAA. It'll use one of his minor league options. John Lester is not having a good time there. I was going to send him down, but we're actually fine. And there we go. We can continue to sim through the month of August. I have to change the 40-man as well. 40-man roster, Zerpa. Yeah, we'll just remove you from the 40-man. There we go. All right. And then we'll get through the end of the month here. Simulate to the end of the game. The Royals have won. There we go. Our pitching closed it out. Bases loaded. We won again against the Reds. A close one. The Nationals have claimed... Go for it, Nats. You can have them. Angels have defeated us. That's fine. All right. We do get a sweep there. The Royals have defeated the Guardians. Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. Close it out, Schreiber. No, he did not close it out. And we do beat Houston 2 out of 3 times. We could split the series with them. We're 73 and 64. 1.5 back of the Angels too. We have closed in. It didn't feel like a particularly good month. There's a lot of L's there, but maybe the Angels are just doing worse than we are. Kyle Isbell. Oh my God. Oh, these guys are injured for day to day, about a week. Oh man. September call-ups. I got to add 2 players to the MLB roster. Who do I want to call up? Brooks Lee? Yeah, Brooks Lee he's probably ready. We'll move him to the majors. Yeah, and then probably a pitcher. Carlos Hernandez, have you picked it up, buddy? No, he is not. Absolutely not. Josh Taylor, Tyler Duffy. Tyler Duffy, 169. Yeah, Josh Taylor. We'll bring up Josh Taylor. He's doing well. So we tried Taylor Duffy. It didn't go great, but we're going to bring him, Josh Taylor up. And there we go. There's our 2 extra in September. We do... I was going to say we do beat Houston in the series, and then we get swept by Cleveland. Are you kidding me? We got a series against Minnesota now where we get swept. Oh, my God. The Yankees. Oh, my God. We went a week without winning. That's probably going to put the nail in our coffin, guys. That is absolutely going to put the nail in our coffin there. Simulate to the end of the game. The Royals we did win, so that's good to see that. We're only 1 game back of the Rays. How? We went a whole week without winning a game. How do we... What? And yeah, we're okay there. Calendar, 3, 6, 7, 8 game losing streak, and we're somehow only 1 game back of the Rays now. Against Detroit, we're going to lose that series. It's such a battle of mid down the stretch. San Francisco, oh no, we lose that series as well. Are we still in it? Are we still? We're 3 games back of the Rays now. It's going to be an uphill battle. Oh man. Okay. All right. I think we can safely say that it is over for us. Yeah, that the season ended pretty poorly. We finished under 500 after being above 500 for so long. Bobby Witt Jr. did lead the league in doubles, so let's get a look at our stats and how everyone performed. Player statistics: Bobby Witt Jr. batted .293 with 21 home runs, so nobody with a ton of power. Vinnie Pasquantino probably would have been that guy, but considering he missed about 300 at-bats, you could probably say he'd be in the 30s for home runs. I'd probably project him to be, another 100 at-bats, maybe 10 more home runs. So yeah, maybe 8, 9 home runs. We'll see if he got hot. But the RBIs, Bobby Witt was the only one close to 100. Stolen bases, he had 30. Bobby Witt he's 96 now, guys. Oh, that's crazy. Our best batting average was Vinnie Pasquantino, Kyle Isbell as well. Bobby Witt, Garrett Hampson played well. Adam Frazier played well. Freddie Furman did cool off down the stretch, but he's now an 80 overall catcher at 28. Really good fielder. Salvador Perez batted well. Hunter Renfroe was okay. Nate Eaton, when we called him up, his 16 at-bats, he did all right. And then these guys down here, Brooks Lee, he did get about 20 at-bats for us. I think his batting average actually got worse. But he's now up to a 72, which I will take. Let's sort by OPS here. 967 there. Yeah, we know it's the usual suspects here up at the top. Some maybe shifting due to some people having better slugging and and on base percentage, OBP. But let's take a look at the WAR. Who had the best WAR was obviously Bobby Witt, but Garrett Hampson there may not have contributed. I mean, in 290 with the bat and 50 RBIs, that is perfectly fine for a guy that I kind of had platooning everywhere. I think he played third this season, to be honest. But Vinnie Pasquantino with 3. Anybody above 2.5, I'm happy with. Furman, Isbell, Pasquantino, Frazier, Hampson, Bobby Witt. I'm actually really happy with how season number 1 has gone. Runs created, Bobby Witt over 100. Garrett Hampson in the 80s. Garrett Hampson, definitely somebody that I think I want to renew him. He can play anywhere, and we know he can contribute. Adam Frazier did well. Vinnie Pasquantino, like I said, would have had more because this is a counting stat. So the more games you play, the better this is going to do. But we need better bats in the outfield. Renfroe at 64. It's okay. Isbell, Waters. Listen, we need bats in the outfield. I like the fact that Isbell can hit for average, but again, he's not good enough to play every day. The fielding is great too, which is going to help him with the WAR, but ultimately, I'd like left field. I think MJ Melendez was an absolute tragedy this season. Batted 216, OPS of 626. He did hit 14 home runs, so there's a little pop there. 43 RBIs, but 117 strikeouts compared to 46 walks. It's just bad. Just straight up bad. Negative 2.3 WAR. I mean, honestly, those 2 wins could have made the difference, right? A guy that in left field, if I would have gotten Alex Verdugo and popped him in there for MJ Melendez, I think he might have had a positive impact and we would not have missed the playoffs. But I'm not going to put all of our woes here on MJ Melendez, but it didn't go great for him. I think it's time to look for a new left fielder. Pitchers this season for us. We'll stick with the starters, though. ERA, nobody had a great ERA. Trevor Rogers down to 4.48. Guys, we acquired him. He had pitched about, I want to say, 80 innings, and he was above 7. He's pulled it all the way down to 4.48. That is ridiculous. Whip of 1.5 is not good, but again, he was a negative WAR, now to a positive WAR. I'm really happy with the acquisition of Trevor Rogers. He's 81 overall now, too. Grown very nicely. And that 4-year, $8 million deal, I'm certainly going to be happy paying that. Seth Lugo was our best starting pitcher. I almost toyed with moving on from him, but he might be somebody we move on from now. $15 million for 2 years. Send him to one of those big teams like the Yankees, maybe even the Red Sox, who are looking for some pitching. He pitched well analytically. He's got some veteran experience, and potentially move on from him. But 3.8 WAR is crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. You guys let me know about that. I probably am. You guys are going to say yes. I know you guys. WAR is 3.9 there, 2.4. I mean, this is wild. Kyle Wright was the least impressive of our pitchers, but they all were positive. Brady Singer did bounce back. 403 WAR, right? It was at 420 about when I was thinking about giving him an extension, but he looks pretty good. So honestly, can't complain there. All right, so our relief pitchers, Josh Taylor what did he pitch? 3 innings. Not going to hold him accountable for that one. Carlos Hernandez did not pitch at all. Nick Sandlin, I'm happy I gave him that contract extension, guys. 2.57 still. Pitching really, really well. Nick Anderson also pitched well. Chris Stratton, not the greatest. About a 5 ERA for relievers, not what you want to see. ERC of 3.33. You guys know I kind of like my advanced analytics. The WAR, it's tough for these guys to really accumulate too much WAR. I wish I could get win percentage added. But ERC, yeah, you can see that I want guys like around 3 or lower. So Anderson and Sandlin easily hit that bar. John Schreiber, he was an all-star for us, 3.27. I'll give it to him. Chris Stratton, not the greatest, but I think his FIP tells us that he got a little unlucky with the ERA. The FIP, it does kind of show you here. Wow, John Schreiber just got really good fielding too, right? That's kind of what you're seeing there. Either way, I'm okay with the bullpen. Jake Brent's our closing pitcher. He's not very good. 27 innings pitched. Did he have any 4 blown saves, 11 holds? His saves? Yeah, he had 0 saves, so he actually wasn't used as our closer. It was John Schreiber. Okay, so John Schreiber was our closer. I'm fine with that. John Schreiber looks like he's a quality closer, right? That's probably why his ERA is a little lower, but Honestly, we need to find a true bona fide closer that we can move Schreiber back into the pen as a setup guy or a reliever. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's Will Klein. Probably not. I think we need to go out and get a veteran for 2 years, 3 years, so we can figure that out. Maybe we make a trade for one of those young dominant closers. It'd be good to have one. Don't think it's the number one thing on my priority list. I think a better bat in the outfield. And then really, there's a lot of decisions I need to make here, guys, but I'm honestly very, very happy with how this season went. Let me know your thoughts about the draft. I was very pleased with the draft. We now have a stable of young, really good pitchers. We have, pretty clearly defined who the guys with potential that are going to hit it are on our team, like Pasquantino, and who's not, MJ Melendez, and where we can go there, where we can upgrade. I think the outfield is certainly an area to upgrade. Third base probably needs an upgrade, right? We'll take a look at third real quick. It was Maikel Garcia. Actually, he didn't play much, and he was not good when he did play. So Maikel Garcia, he's up to a 77. He's growing. He's a great fielder. The hitting's getting worse. So maybe I use him to find somebody that can hit. Somebody's probably going to value a player like Maikel Garcia. I like Nate Eaton as a platoon third baseman too. The bat is not good, but man, he does provide that defense that we're looking for. Frazier, we saw Frazier was a fine bat, and Michael Massey here, is growing nicely at 26 up to a 72. The bat looks good. Like, there's not much to split these two players. A little bit more power from Massey, a little bit better vision and contact from Frazier, so slightly different, a bit more fielding from Massey here too, and he can platoon over there at third. Very happy with that. Prado, we saw, was fine in his limited action here, 267 at-bats, batted 273. Slugging a 408. Like, again, first base is not an area where I'm looking. Second base, Frazier is fine. I could re-sign him. Maybe get an upgrade there, but again, I don't want to do it all in one offseason. You got to kind of balance these things out. Third, I'd like to make a trade for short. We know Bobby Witt and Garrett Hampson are going to be fine. Brooks Lee, potentially. Brooks Lee could be our third baseman next year, honestly. Am I crazy for thinking Brooks Lee would be our third or second baseman, and then we get rid of Maikel Garcia. We move Michael Massey, and Frazier can play third? No, the arm's not good enough. No, Massey and Frazier can stay at second. We move on from Garcia, move Brooks Lee to third. I think we might have another young player to keep our eye on there with Brooks Lee. That growth is crazy. +6 in discipline, +3 pretty much everywhere else, -1 in power versus lefties, but I'm not too concerned about that. And then obviously the outfield, MJ Melendez was not it. The center fielders were fine. I think we need two starting outfielders. I think we need to upgrade third base, whether that's Brooks Lee or bring somebody in. Starting pitching, I think we could use one arm or two. And then probably a closer. So not a short shopping list at all, but definitely something to consider as we move forward. But guys, thank you so much for watching. That is all the time I have for this one. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And I will see you guys in the next one.
This a free for all, but what we fall. This a free for all, but what we fall.